I hear the leaves drinking rain. I hear rich leaves on top giving the poor beneath drop after drop. Ah, 'tis a sweet noise to hear these green leaves drinking near. And when the sun comes out, after the rain shall stop, a wondrous light will fill each dark round drop. Ah, I hope the sun shines bright. 'Twill be a lovely sight. Hi, this is Sandra Hart. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I finally made it to Nashville. I have been here with my son for a couple of weeks, and I made a few videos ahead of time just in case, covering all my bases. But I thought I would slip this video in right here because I met someone here in Nashville who really needed help in being able to live each day the best that they could. So I told them that I would do a very short video talking about maybe just three things that we can do to create a day for us that is fulfilled. When we wake up every morning, it's a new chance to create something and just to make something of that day. It's almost like painting a picture. When we wake up, it's a fresh slate. So we have the opportunity today to paint the most beautiful picture that we can of this day. And I think you understand what I mean. It's an opportunity every single time we wake up to begin again. It's like a new beginning, the birth of something. I know my son has about 10 chickens that are free range, on his property here. And, sometimes we wake up and we have fresh eggs that they have laid. But because it's the birth of something, the birth of a new day and an opportunity to make everything right today. So that is really important that we think about maybe three things that we can do when we wake up in the morning and we take a shower, and we can think about it, of how we can make this day important to us, how we can make this day meaningful to us. The first step to that is awareness. Awareness brings freedom of what we can do for the whole day. That takes us down a winding road of constant evolution and provides us with a myriad of opportunities that will allow us to create a good day. That freedom allows us to realize all of the possible things that we can do. Awareness is extremely important. We have to be aware of our needs, our wants, and what we want to achieve, not only for that day, but for the long term. But doing it day by day really does help. If we're not aware of ourselves and our wants and needs, how are we going to ever change anything? How are we going to get out of that rut that we sometimes feel that we are in? We're doing the same things all the time, making the same choices over and over again. And if their choices are not good for us, and we are not aware of maybe what we are doing with those choices, then we never learn, do we? We never learn. So rather than moving us forward, our personal paths may seem like a never-ending circle. It's like Groundhog Day, the same thing over and over again. It is during these moments that awareness can be the very first step to change. If we are not aware of our bad habits, of what we want in life, then it is a repeating circle. It's like a dog chasing its tail. It never will happen. Your life never will improve. You'll keep on making the same mistakes over and over again. Heaven knows this is something I had to learn in life, because I have made the same mistakes over and over again until I finally woke up and realized and became aware of what I was doing and became aware of what my needs were. And it was only then that I was able to move forward in my life. And the same with you. So awareness is such an important part, that very first step of being able to create a day and eventually create a full life if you take it day by day. The second step is to have your inner child move over and quit allowing that inner child to be in the driving seat. You have to be in the driving seat. For heaven's sakes, have you ever seen a 6-year-old child try to drive? Well, that explains it all. So many of us, and we all have an inner child in us, each and every one of us, but so many times we allow that inner child, those impulses, to drive us in life. And that will not get us anywhere. We have to move over and be in charge of our lives. There's nothing more frustrating than to feel that you do not have control of your life. And I know how that is, because I have a husband who is very controlling. He was a bachelor for 57 years, and it's either his way or the highway. So I have learned to live with a porcupine. I have learned to be able to not worry about the child in me and whether everybody loves me and whether everybody likes me, but I have to worry about me and my being able to navigate around others in my life, and so that I can be the grown-up that I am now. It is fun to experience and to keep that little part of your inner child, I know, because it's fun, you can fantasize, it's good for play. But when you're making serious decisions about your life, that's not something a child should be doing. So we have to put that inner child away when we're making important decisions in our lives. Fear, anger, jealousy, those all are impulses coming from our inner child, but they are so destructive. There is nothing positive about those childish impulses that are going to move you forward in your life. So you really have to be the grown-up that your physical presence is. And you have to allow that grown-up to be in charge, to control your fears of, I can't do it, I'm afraid, of jealousy, and of resentment. All of those things are very childish and childlike, and we all have them. But we must not let them be in the driver's seat when we are trying to move forward in our lives. I know it's difficult because we're all human. None of us are immune from any of these problems. None of us are immune from having this inner child sometimes rise up and have a temper tantrum and take charge of you. But once you allow that not to happen, then that's when you have more control over your life, and that's when you're going to be able to move forward. The third step is to utilize the power of your mind. You know, the mind is extremely powerful. Your mind has control of your heart. Your mind has control of everything in your life. So your mind is probably the strongest organ that you have in your body. And you have the power to control that mind. You have the power to think positively. You have the power to try to heal yourself in a positive way. You have the power to let go of the fear that's keeping you making decisions. The power of the mind is curious because it is so darn powerful. And once we harness our minds and can control our minds, then we really have control of almost everything in our lives. We have control of whether we're going to think positive. We have control over whether we're going to not be fearful about making decisions in the future. We have control over decisions about how we're going to eat, how we're going to exercise, what type of relationships we are going to allow, and how much of our inner child we are going to allow to peek through when we want to have fun and enjoy ourselves, but not when we want to make major decisions in our lives. So there are just 3 major things that we can do, and this is just a little quick short video, but being aware of our habits, being aware of what we want in life, being aware of where our fears come from, and being aware of each day. The second choice is to make your inner child leave the driving seat. Have that inner child move over and you take control of that steering wheel. Because an inner child has no business, and a 6-year-old child or a 10-year-old child has no business telling you how to live or telling you how to make good decisions in your life. I have never had a 6-year-old give me great advice about my life yet. The third one is to utilize the power of your mind. The mind is a curious thing and it's so powerful, but we do have control of our mind if we are aware and if we are in the driver's seat and we are determined to live the very best life ever. Remember, everything is fixable except death. Everything. So while you're here and while we're all on this planet, let's get control of our lives and live the best life ever. I hope that wasn't too heavy today. But it was on my mind, and I'm trying to help her, and I'm trying to help her realize that it is a lot easier than she thinks by taking these 3 steps, and after a while they'll just become a ritual and they'll become just like a habit for you. When you wake up in the morning and you have a clean slate in front of you and you know that you have the power mostly to live the very best life ever and to make the decisions in your life that will help you move forward. Now, we don't have 100% control of our lives ever, because there are outside influences that come in and put a stumbling block in front of us. But if we are in control, we can think of detours to get around all of those stumbling blocks. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed, I sure would love to have you subscribe. And be kind to yourself today. Do something really nice for yourself. Be good to someone who crosses your path. And don't forget to share the love. Don't forget I love you and I appreciate every single one of you. And I can't wait to see you again in my next video. Take care.